Hi, John here. In this video I will talk about how to price your e-commerce products competitively so they're actually scalable when it comes to online advertising. Okay, so this is my ROAS calculator, right? And I want to start here because ROAS is one of the most important metric when it comes to your, any scaling any Facebook ads, okay? So let's say that we have a product and that product costs $100, okay? And let's say that our, all costs together with shipping, fulfillment, basically production and factory, and basically all the journey from, factory to customer costs like, let's say 30. This means that, let's say that I'm selling this product for 100 and my costs are 30, that my break-even ROAS is 1.43. And why actually want to mention ROAS, right? ROAS is the most important metric, right? It only matters what's your ROAS, right? Because a lot of people want to measure themselves with other people's ROAS, but everybody have a different, production costs and different product price, right? So let's say that 1.43 is a very healthy ROAS, right? And most people always ask, right? Okay, so let's say that we will scale, right? And my break-even ROAS is a 50, right? And that's a 2 ROAS. And they are trying to scale some typical product for a typical market, right? Let's say a home market in USA. And usually when you have a proper brand, right, and you start scaling and you start spending let's say $500 per day, then you could be running with a 3 ROAS, right? So that means that basically everything above 2 ROAS is a pure profit, right? But once you start scaling, let's say that $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 per day, the ROAS tend to drop, right? So you'll basically have a lower ROAS, but you can get that profit, with that volume that basically you're going to run. I mean, yeah, there could be tons of people that will say that they are magicians and they can get you 5,000 ROAS, when they are targeting cold, traffic that literally never heard of you, and you need to convert it immediately. But basically, yeah, so once you start increasing your sales and your ad spend, your ROAS will go down, right? So let's say that now when you are running $1,000 per day or $2,000 per day, you are a 2.2, right? And 2.3. And that's super close basically to your break even, which is zero profit, right? So that means that higher, that lower that product cost you have, that easier it is to scale and keep it profitable. So every time when we, for example, try to price product, we try to really sometimes a little bit overprice it, right? So let's say that full cost is a 5. I want to sell it for 25, so I can multiply it by 5, right? This means that my break-even ROAS is actually, let's say 25. This means break-even ROAS is 1.25, right? And with that, I can actually fly for months, right? And have no problems with ads. I can scale like crazy. I can do $10,000 per day, for weeks, months, even years, right? Some of my products that have this kind of a break-even ROAS are actually still running 2017, okay? So this is absolutely fine, right? But the problem is that a lot of people, for example, have higher cost, right? And if you already have that high cost, right, that high production cost, then easier thing to do, that you should do to save your advertising to be able to really scale, even with higher cost, right? Let's say that in your case, you really have 2 ROAS break even, right? And you want to scale high. So only thing that you basically can do in this case to really be profitable is to, try to increase your AOV on a backend, right? So let's say that your typical order, average order value was 100, but you increase your AOV, let's say to 140, right? And that means that your ROAS is already lower, and that's what we do, right? Especially when we have a clients that, for example, they will have products that are, a break-even at 2 ROAS, right? So what we do is we try to introduce, to their offer also a couple, after checkout upsells, right? So because first, after these after checkout upsells, they usually will not destroy that main sale, right? Basically that main sale will pay for everything, and basically everything what's going to be generated in that after purchase upsell is basically a pure profit, right? So that's why it's I mean, it's very easy, right? Because if you, let's say that you have that product for for $100, and you will just, you know, like increase that AOV, you know, to buy like let's say that you will offer some like additional product that is like a super connected to that main product, and you will and the person will pay for it 30, right? So it's already like a 130. And then let's say that your second, you know, after checkout upsell is like something for $10, right? Like it could be like some guarantee or some like replacement service, you know, or extended warranty, right? And with like $10, and everybody will buy it because it's like a $100 product, right? So, and that itself will already like decrease that, you know, like a break-even ROAS. And with 1.56, even in this like a super competitive phase market when everything is like super expensive, you can still like fly like so far, and you will be able to scale like brutally. So if you meant to make your e-commerce products really like a scalable, right, and really like competitive, then you always need to be able really to increase that AOV, you know, at the back end, because if you do it, your ROAS will immediately drop. So if you really have like a tight hands, right, and your costs are already like it's already like a cheapest as it can possibly be, right? Like all people in factories already hate you because you really like try to haggle with them, you know, to bone, and you can't just like you know, like it's like 50, it cannot get like lower. Then yeah, you need to really increase your AOV, and you can do it easily with those like after purchase upsells, right? Because once person already buys, then they kind of like have that shield down, right? So once you will try, and when you try to, you know, serve them with like some upsell, right, they sometimes like, oh yeah, I will buy it, right? So let's say that you sell something that is like a perfect, you know, companion to the main product, then it's like super easy to sell them something, right? Let's say they buy something for 100, then you upsell them something for 30. It's like nothing, right? And then you upsell them with something for 10, right? Or even if they will not take something for 30, then that basically you will anyway, you know, jump to that smaller upsell to anyway like close something, and that itself will like increase AOV and will help you to be profitable in long term, right? So even if you had, you know, that like main ROAS break even at 2. With that, you can like push it down like brutally, and this will open you like doors to, you know, like scaling your product to like a new height, right? That you would normally not expect, you know, to basically get, right? If you want my ROAS calculator, definitely download my book. It's free, you know, and well, still it's free. It's Facebook Ad Launch Guide for e-commerce, and I basically wrote it like for e-commerce owners who want to run their ads, you know, and you know, want to get like some advanced strategies, right? For example, there is like a step-by-step, right, how we scale profitably to $50,000 per day in ad spend, right? And there are also like rules when we stop what, right? So we are always in profit and never go to loss. If you also work with some agency, this book will help you to understand if they are actually doing a great job or they are not slacking, and maybe their, you know, results can be like very easily improved, but they don't want to. So definitely download the book. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it helped, and I will see you in tomorrow one. And definitely don't forget to subscribe and click to the bell button. So thank you very much and have a good day. Bye for now.